The one and only is with us, Stefan.
Hey, Stefan, how you doing, buddy?
Oh. I didn't even think I was going to make it on time, to be honest.
I nearly forgot what day of the week it was, having a bank holiday yesterday, so don't worry.
I only remembered because obviously I had a day off yesterday, and it was like, oh yeah, I'm back at work, so Monday off. Right, yeah, okay.
Oh. So yeah. How's work going?
Non-stop. Let's just put it that way. I don't think there's a day that I've walked in before 6 o'clock. And
yeah, my last week was like that.
No. Even my weekends at the minute don't seem like weekends.
On the plus side, what a result with our little collection of spiders you bought.
Yeah.
That was a good find. That was. And that was from a pet shop.
That was from our local pet shop or reptile shop. Reptile fish.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah, I mean, on the odd occasion, they sort of get people coming in and just going, oh, you know, I'm getting rid of a collection. And lo and behold, stuff like that turns up. I mean, obviously, the last time I was there, the guy was trying to offer me an adult female Darlingi.
Okay.
And I don't know what he was asking for it. I didn't ask at the time. I was a bit broke. So I was like, I don't even want to know because I'll try and find the money somehow.
Yeah.
But this time it was just like I walked in, I went and bought some food, and like the guy behind the counter was like, "Oh yeah, so you know you're not interested in any spiders then?" I'm like, "Sorry, I haven't seen you've got anything out." He's like, "Yeah, they're out the back. Come on then, let's have a look. What you got?" And I mean, there was some quite nice spiders there. I mean, there was also a Lasiodora Kalugi.
Yeah.
A Brachypelma Classy, but that was already sold. There was a dark colour form OBT. There was a couple of Hamoris, and there was a few other bits and pieces. So, like, I mean, in total, we had like sort of 15 there.
Okay.
So it must have just been that obviously someone had sort of brought in a little collection to get rid of.
Yeah. You definitely got the best of the bunch, though.
It was sort of right time, right price, and where I've been going there as well for like the last sort of 4 or 5 years now. I'm on quite good terms with them because I'll go there basically every time to go and get my food.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, and I mean I've bought just the odd enclosure here and there off of them when it's like the last one on the shelf. Like they stopped doing custom Aquaria stuff, and I ended up with one with 4 tanks all in one.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was still pricey, but it wasn't, you know, what it should be. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Hey, Acid, how you doing, dude?
Acids, that was Emsworth Aquatics, or Emsworth Reptile and Aquatics, Aquatic and Reptile, one of the two anyway. It's in Drayton. But yeah, I mean, they've still got, you know, about 10 spiders left in there, as I say, what they've got left.
Yeah, I've heard good things about Emsworth, actually. I've never actually been there, but I have heard good things.
Like I say, I'll get all my food from there. You know, on the odd occasion, I might order online just because I'm feeling lazy and it's midweek or something, and I ain't going to be able to make it down there.
Yeah.
But 90, I'd say 95% of my food comes from there.
Yeah.
And I'd have to say I've spent quite a fair bit on enclosures in there as well with them.
Yeah. Our local garden centre is a bit like that for us. We've spent, well, you got a rough idea with all the enclosures and stuff we've been buying recently. We've spent a small fortune in there. But they've got some good stuff in. A little bit higher priced for their tarantulas and stuff, but you expect that from a retailer anyway. But they've usually got a really good collection. And the way they look after their stuff in there, I've always had this thing about looking at the way reptile shops specifically, or reptile sections within garden centres, the way their husbandry works with their stuff, and the care of their stuff is phenomenal. It's second to none. So I have absolutely no problems at all buying anything from there, because it is that good, and everything that you get is in such good condition. So yeah, definitely worth, if anybody's in the area, worth a trip out to there as well.
Yeah, I did question some of their keeping on their tarantulas, because there is stuff like the Harpacteria pulchripes there that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I know that they have their monsoon seasons and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
this enclosure's pretty swamped.
Right.
So but then, to be fair to them, they are more reptiles and fish and snakes,
Yeah.
rather than tarantulas. You know, they, like I say, they do get the odd couple here and there, but it's mainly that they've bought someone's collection, or someone's like can't do it anymore. And I know that they do sell things for people as well. So
yeah. Right, I'm just gonna nip off for a second, mate. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, see if we can. Let's see if we can do this without it deciding that it wants to do a runner. But I don't know. I mean, they're all looking nice and healthy, plump. Other than husbandry on it, like, you can't fault them at all for tarantulas. I think it was the ECC group, Ealing Sidex, that I did put a picture just up of the deli cups, and I mean, they're all in exactly the same size deli cup. So we picked up Harpacteria namaquensis. That's about the same size. One pulchripes. Two pulchripes. Three pulchripes. And also a Chilobrachys fimbriatus. And I believe, well, looking at it, the fimbriatus is a good size. I mean, that's almost like 7 to 8 centimeters, something between 6 and 8 centimeters, I reckon.
Hey, Sidex.
So yeah, as I said, they will be in a bit of a future video. I'm just setting up some new enclosures for them, because I'd also like for the namaquensis to have a little bit more substrate to burrow down in. Evening, Danielle, and maybe James. The Namaquensis I still haven't been able to get an actual picture of yet because it's just way too skittish, and all it does is just bolt down into its little burrow that it's made. I've been able to get pictures so far of the Pulchripes because they're all just sat out and chilling, but I think that's because the substrate's a bit too damp for them, that they're sat up on top of their cork bark at the minute.
Hey, Danielle, and maybe James.
I said exactly the same thing because last time it was, you know, it threw us all off. They were both here.
I mean,
I think.
good evening, Ian.
Oh, good evening, Ian, and evening, Moon.
So I apologise in advance. I've literally just taken my dinner out the oven. It's been a long day. Yeah, it's both this week.
But yeah, I wanted a. It is both. I have wanted a Fimbriatus for a little while now, but I got 2 slings once upon a time ago, and both of them, well, one of them just died randomly, and one got stuck in a bad mold.
Oh.
So I was like, yeah, I was gutted when both of them sort of. It was all within like 2 weeks of each other as well. So whether or not the other one was them getting ready to molt and something happened, I don't know.
Yeah, I've had one bit of bad news this week actually. So I've got a pair of Chilobrachys species electric blue.
Yeah.
I noticed a few days ago that the male was being really sluggish and not moving. Sort of gave him a little bit of poke, and he's sort of slowly moving his limbs, retracting his limbs, but wasn't doing very much. So I thought, okay, I'll give him a little bit to see how it goes. Made sure, obviously, had access to water and all that sort of stuff. And checked on him again today, and it looks like he's cleared like a really big blockage of poo, basically.
So it's almost like impaction.
I think that's what's happened. So the neurological symptoms that he's got, where he's being really sluggish and stuff, doesn't seem to have recovered from that. He's still very, very sluggish, but you generally find with spiders that have suffered impaction, they don't really bounce back from that.
No.
So I think, unfortunately, I think we're going to lose this one. He's definitely cleared the blockage. I mean, the amount of stuff that's come out in one go is just insane. So he's definitely cleared the blockage. But like you say, I think the damage is done with stuff like that. I don't think there's much you can do about it. So yeah, unfortunately, is what it is. I have got another unsexed, grown on electric blue, so hopefully that will turn out to be a male. It'll replace the male that I'm likely going to lose now.
Well, I think we have 2.
Hi, Tanya.
One's a sling and one's like a grown on sling. So you could be in luck there as well.
Yeah. So other than that, it's just been tons and tons of molts. I've had loads of molts.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with impaction, isn't it? Generally, if they do end up clearing the blockage, it doesn't seem to bode well for them, should we say?
No. Yeah, acid, something like that, dude. But yeah, so no, literally almost. Well, what we had. So all three P Metallicas have molted. The P Regalis sub-adult females molted. The Ornata's molted. I've had Aphanopelmis semani females molted. The male's looking like he's in pre-molt. Bumba cabocula's molted. Loads and loads of molts.
Well, you know, I felt gutted this week because I did actually have a loss as well before I went and got all of this lot. I went and bought me food on Sunday night. Obviously, found out about these.
Yeah.
Sunday night, I come to feed everything, and one of my
Oh yeah.
tiny ones. Well, I say tiny. It was almost grown on sling. Passed away. So the Angel was well gutted because obviously most of the Metallicas are hers.
Yeah. Oh, Ian, that sucks, man. So Ian's had a bit of rubbish luck as well.
Wow.
Oh, sorry to hear that, dude. That really
Yeah,
sucks.
that's a whole lot to lose.
Oh, Stefan, what are you going to do with that 3-foot Viv, buddy?
I don't even know what I'd do with a 3 foot wooden Viv now. Actually, it'd have to be some sort of snake, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose you could set it up for a leopard gecko or something like that.
Yeah. You know, even a beardie's going to outgrow it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Although racking dragons,
Yeah, rankings are a lot
they,
smaller than beardies.
they still stay quite small. Sorry, we're putting ideas in Stefan's head here.
Like he needs the ideas.
Oh, what? One of the Exoterra ones, Stefan? Yeah.
You know what?
And yes, um,
I was going to say Petco's H. Geiger's communal. I had to laugh to myself when I saw him do that, when I saw him announce it. H. Geiger's was one of the first species I ever bred, way back when I first started the hobby. And I kept a whole bunch of them together, and the plan was to try and keep a bunch communal to see how they did, because apparently they will quite happily, like quite a few of the baboon species, quite happily will stay together at least up until they're juveniles with no problems at all. And everyone in the hobby absolutely ripped me for it and said, no, it won't work. It's never going to work. Don't do it. Don't do it. So in the end, I didn't do it.
and now, lo and behold, there's quite a few people trying it.
Yeah. So I wish I'd done it now.
Maybe you could have been the first person to do it.
Maybe. Well, I am going back. Well, I am going back about 12 years. So, but yeah, everyone, like when I was on the forums, on reptile forums, on the BTS forums and stuff, everyone was like, no, don't do it. Don't be an idiot. So I didn't. I listened to everyone else. I took their advice, the experienced keeper cohort. Sarah would say yes, that's what that means.
That's the thing. There's more and more people now trying different communals, isn't there? I mean, look at the amount of people that still try INSEE communals.
Yeah, yeah, no,
And
we've seen sometimes.
yeah, that's the thing with them is there is a lot more that they end up saying you just end up with one big fat female or something.
Yeah.
I think there's a fight going on between James and Danielle in the chat. That's it. I mean, how do most people know that communals don't work up until you try something?
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose a lot
I
of it
mean,
just boils down to whether people want to risk it, doesn't it?
yeah. I mean, if you've bred something and you've just done it for the fun of breeding, I know that it seems kind of cruel in some respects, but why not try a communal?
Yeah. So
Someone had to try Balfiore to start with, didn't they?
yeah, I mean, Ian said he's had a bash at doing the H. Geiger's communal.
I think Tanya's convinced herself.
Yeah, that's how Sarah convinces herself to get stuff. I've seen it. I told you the other week when we were looking at Kieran's parrot. We were saying about Kieran's macaw. We were saying about Sarah's seen this one in the pet shop, and she keeps going there, and because it notices her every time she goes in, and it pays attention to her, and it doesn't pay attention to anyone else. That means it wants to come home with her and her alone.
Of course.
That's the rationale behind that one. So I have a feeling at some stage, like I said, we're going to end up with a parrot. And then she turned around today and decided that she wants a poodle as well. She wants another dog. She thinks Fenn's lonely. And needs a friend. Plus, she wants to get a female poodle so she can make shepherd poodle crosses, which are comically called shepherdoodles.
Okay.
So yeah, there we go. On the other side of that, if we did end up with a bunch of German Shepherd cross poodle puppies, they're quite highly sought after at the moment, apparently. Anything with poodle in it, because they don't molt. And that's probably one of the things I hate most about being a dog owner, is the hair everywhere. Keep threatening to shame me, she won't have none of it.
I was going to say, your dog's a little bigger than ours as well.
He's got more hair to shed.
Yeah. But no, that was kind of a bit like these. I sort of like saw them and it was like, we need to go back tomorrow.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few people do avicularia communals. Not so much recently. I think it's another one that, for the most part, generally doesn't really work out too well in the end. I think the people that have had success has been more by luck than judgment with avic communals.
Tyler asked about Metallica, and I mean,
yeah. Hey, Jojo.
Good evening.
Yeah, Metallica communals are one of those things. A lot of people sort of do, like with most species, they will tolerate each other when they're very young. And yes, they'll stay relatively, I say, not social, but indifferent towards each other up until they're sort of juveniles. But I don't think even P. metallicas or any of the pokies really are truly. I've not seen anyone have a real success story with communals, and the ones that do tend to work out okay tend to be ones where they've either provided so much space that they don't end up interacting, which doesn't cause any issues, or there's so much food available consistently that they don't have any need to have a pop at each other. But you always find that with, especially with pokey communals, the males grow much quicker than the females. So you end up with males that are 2 or 3 inch leg span and females that are still only about an inch. And that's when you start losing them. So unfortunately, you end up with a fantastic communal that are mostly male and all about the same size. Hey, Lee.
And if you want to pay out that sort of money for risking spiders like that,
yeah, I wouldn't do that with Metallicas.
You know, Incies are like, I don't know, 6-8 quid or something stupid. You know, if you want to try it with something, you might as well just go with them rather than a pokey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like whenever I see like the website selling pokey like communals, I always think to myself, well, if I did buy that, I'd split them all up anyway. It's just a bit of a better deal to buy them if, you know, if you want like 5 of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, pokies, like most people say, up to about 18 months, and then that's when things start, and you end up just like with one fat spider or 2 fat spiders, like living on 2 different sides of the enclosures.
Yeah. Hey, Tony.
Oh no.
I will keep an eye out though. So Ian's gonna have a bash at doing it. I will keep an eye out because, like I say, you know, from not from personal experience, but from a lot of other people's experiences, it doesn't generally work out. But I would love to find somebody that finds the ideal way of doing it so that it is a true success. I would really like to see that.
That's it. Whether or not it means that it's got to be in like a 3 foot high by like 45 wide or something, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, if you find out that bigger's better for them, or, you know, smaller, or there's a lot of research to be done, I suppose, for it.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, if you think back to when communals first started getting popular and stuff, when people first started having a go at them, the general thinking at the time was to not allow them too much space so that they didn't have an opportunity to become territorial.
Yeah.
Oh, nice one. Tarantula genitals posters. Absolutely looking forward to this. But the general thinking was that don't provide them too much space. They don't have an opportunity to become territorial. Therefore, they're used to being around each other all the time. So it's no surprise when they come across each other. However, that didn't generally work out too fantastic for a lot of people. Now, it does in certain circumstances. And people that keep Balfouri communals, generally, I've seen them keep them in a multitude of different size enclosures. Some of them don't have a lot of space and they're all very, very close knit together. Some of them have quite a bit of space. But I think the difference is with Balfouri is they are truly communal. They actually do live together and usually without any problems. So I don't know if that's a process of, you know, the fact that the island that they come from is a particularly small island. The area that's particularly good habitat for them and stuff is you know, pretty much dry scrubland. They live under bushes and all that sort of stuff. So maybe they're used to staying in the same sort of area when all the eggs hatch out and stuff like that, and that's just natural for them. It's part of their evolution process that they tolerate being so much closer together for you know, for longer periods. I found with other species, it's a bit hit and miss. Thank you, Jojo. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's not too spicy for you then, though.
That's the thing, because like most, well, I say most, like 95% of species, I suppose, have got big rainforests and deserts and,
yeah,
you know, pretty much whatever land they want to roam. All right, how do they know when they get to a border, though? If they were to roam so far, just all of a sudden get to a border and go, oh no, that doesn't look like my land.
Yeah. Yeah, especially if you think about arboreal species like pokies. I mean, they live, you know, yes, sort of for the most part, like they're arboreal, they live up in trees and stuff like that. So I suppose with them it might be a little bit different in terms of migrating from one tree to another tree. They don't necessarily do it that often. Some of them will live their entire lives in one tree.
That's the thing. They probably like bury down at the bottom of one tree and then slowly just
Work their way up.
Yeah. And I mean, there probably is points where they do come in contact with each other, but as we know in pokey communals, there is some sort of tolerance between them, but not like we say with Balfiore.
Yes. Yeah, definitely, 100%.
And I mean, if you won't really ever get a dwarf species communal because they're probably so small that 1,000 of them, but it's only about a mile wide, and there's 2,000 tarantulas that are never going to see each other.
Yeah.
Although the one species of dwarf now that keeps catching my eye is the Heterothele gabonensis.
Yes. Yeah, it's a very smart-looking spider.
I'd mislaid it all this time that I've been keeping tarantulas. I never knew about it, and lo and behold, there's a dwarf baboon species.
Yep. Well, there's two actually, because the Heterothele villacella, the chestnut baboon, is also a dwarf species. Yeah.
It's a slightly larger dwarf species, but it's still classed as dwarf, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they got H. villacella tops out about 2.5, 3 inches,
something like that. Yeah, I think
it's a larger dwarf. It's not a true tiny, weeny little dwarf, but yeah, a bit like the Davus pentaurus, same sort of sketch with that. It's quite a large dwarf species.
Same as the pumpkin patch. I mean, even that tops out about 3 inches. So, or for females anyway.
The Columbia large, they do get quite big. And that was always my rule of thumb. I mean, even if you think you remember back to the old, I don't know what they've reclassified. I don't know what they've reclassified the genus as now, but what used to be the Euathlus genus. So you had the chili pink beauty and all that sort of stuff in it. They've reclassified the genus into a different one now, and I can't remember for the life of me what it is. But they're a small species, like the chili flame and stuff like that.
Yeah. So Tarantula Cat has one, doesn't she?
Yeah. So they're not huge.
No, there is. I didn't realise when I first started getting into it how many dwarf tarantulas there actually are.
Yeah.
Dwarf, smaller. Should we?
Yeah.
Because I mean, most of them, like, even when you're watching YouTube, pretty much everything you come across is all sort of like your average 5-6 inch, male, female. Yeah. But then obviously you get your larger ones, but then it's not really till you start actually knowing what you're looking for or what you want to look for. Then you all of a sudden find all of, these dwarf species and stuff.
Yeah. I think a lot of that has been the breakthroughs in the actual taxonomical process now, though. So we found a lot of, especially with the dwarf species, we found a lot of those that have come across from families outside Theraphosids. So obviously your Theraphosids is what makes up your the tarantula bracket. Yeah. So Theraphosidae, and then you've got other families as well. So things like Barychelidae, Barychelids are very similar to tarantulas. They're mygalomorph spiders, downward pointing fangs, hairy, stocky, but most of those are generally quite small. They don't reach the general size of most species of tarantulas. And what we've had with the breakthroughs in taxonomy, especially since the introduction of sort of like DNA profiling within taxonomical studies and that sort of stuff, is that a lot of the things that have been other genuses and things like that seem to have been, other families seem to have been moved into the Theraphozidae genus, which has then brought them in line with tarantulas. And a lot of those have been a lot smaller, and because they've been a lot smaller, they've been misidentified in the first instance, and now we're getting better at identifying and better at taxonomy and stuff like that. They're starting to realize that they actually sit within different families, and that's why we've got so much more now. And it will change. That's why things keep getting reclassified constantly left, right, and center, because they're starting to introduce DNA profiling into taxonomy now, which is pretty cool. That's a job I'd love to do. Just sat there in the national in the Natural History Museum with all the old type specimens, doing, you know, all of the profiling and the taxonomical research and all those original type specimens in their pickle jars and all that sort of stuff. I've had a chance to have a look in that room once. It's a phenomenal place. There's some of the original type specimens of some of the species that we keep in the hobby now, still in their glass jars of alcohol from, you know, 200 years ago nearly. It's amazing.
Many have been pairing.
Oh, yes, I did see that. It's a good question. But then I suppose that sort of comes down more to advertising within the hobby, really, than an actual classification. So dwarf species aren't like taxonomically classified into their own little bracket. There just seems to be variances within different species. So as Rocky's just said the same thing, dwarf species is a common term like bird eater. It's not a specific taxonomical designation. So I would guess, yeah, that would be an advertising thing within the hobby. So you could include like a third. You've got your standard bird-eating tarantula-sized variants, and then you've got your dwarf species, which are generally the really small ones, a bit like, you know, the Neoholotheles and stuff like that. And then there's somewhere in the middle that's a bracket. I suppose you could create a term for that, I suppose. What would you call them? I don't know. The middle bracket.
Sub-large.
Sub-large. I like that. That's good. Somewhere in between normal and dwarf. Sub-large. I love it. You need to copyright that now before someone steals that.
There you go. It's just like the whole thing, isn't it? I think that'll always stick with us.
Sorry, again, being really rude and munching my dinner while we're speaking.
But then that's where it comes into it. I mean, a lot of people don't realise how small of a male can be compared to most females. You know, you can be talking half the size sometimes, and especially when you're looking at some of the smaller stuff.
You had to say it, didn't you, Sardex? You had to do it.
See, I didn't. It wasn't me. All right. But even when you look at some of the like killer brachy species, the males to the females, like the males are literally underneath because they're that small.
Yeah. But then if you look at the size variance in true spiders, for example, you look at the size variance between a male and female Nephila. I mean, that's phenomenal. You know, the female is like almost 20 times the size of the male, which is unbelievable.
Well, that's it, considering they come in round the side rather than because of how small they are. Like they've got to get round the side of females, haven't they, rather than actually getting underneath them.
Yeah.
So we need miniatures as well.
Yeah, very true. Very true. I do the same, Acid.
Admittedly, though, when I first saw it, when I first got into the hobby, when I saw something like that, I did think it was something like that. I was like, why is someone asking for a huge ass spider? Or, you know, and I was like, why?
Yeah.
And then it sort of twigged and I realised. Right, so we've got it all sorted according to Acid.
See, that's the first, in terms of what Rocky just said there about bird eater being coined to describe any tarantula over 8 inches. I've never heard that one before. I always believed that the first species that was identified as a bird eater was an Avicularia species, because it was the Avicularia species that was observed in the original, like in the original descriptions and stuff, that was observed eating a bird, which is where the term bird eater actually came from. Was one of the early, I can't even remember when, but I've seen the plates for it, as in the original sketches that were done by the ecologist that was out doing the studies. Some phenomenal weird drawings and stuff back then. But yeah, Ian. Yeah, so we got miniature, dwarf, sublarge, and bird eater.
We've done their job for them. We've already categorised everything.
There you go.
That's it. I mean, back when, me being a bit of a thicko that I am, sort of, I got told it was a bird. Like basically anything that lived in the trees was a bird eater.
Okay.
Just purely because they lived in trees, and whether or not it was a true fact or not, I don't ever know. But that was what I got told years and years back. I think someone was having me on, but yeah. See, yes, all right, Acid. And Tony, no, I don't know of anyone that actually breeds dwarf tarantulas at the minute, but I do plan to maybe later on in the future.
Yeah,
I
if I
know
can
they're a
find.
very common species, but I'd like to breed C. elegans, just and pumpkin patch, Formosa, large, whatever, because they're categorized into two, aren't they? You've got the smaller one and the large.
Yeah, Hapalopus formosus, and then Hapalopus formosus species Columbia large.
Yeah.
Hey, Rennie.
Good evening, Rennie. Right.
Evening, Jack.
I can find it. Yeah. Just going to pop out for 2 seconds.
Yeah, no worries. So I'm so rude sitting here stuffing my face. I'm so sorry, everyone.
It's all right. I was lucky enough to be able to stuff my face before I come on, so.
Yeah, no, I like I said, I had to get up just after we started to go and get me dinner out of the oven. Uh-oh. Tom's frozen. That's not good. We're on Tom's stream. If his internet has a hissy fit this evening, it's going to kick everyone out. James is still at work at the moment. Obviously now everything's sort of starting to return to some semblance of normal. He's back working, which I imagine means he's picking up some long shifts again. I don't think he expected to be working this evening, but unfortunately he is. Hopefully, though, he'll be getting back at some stage soon and will be jumping on to join us before we finish for the evening. Oops. And then there was just me. That's not good. Oh, God, you don't want to put me up on the main TV. So how you get on with your sauce, Sidex? How much is left? Yes, we will be doing what's in Stefan's cupboard later on tonight. Stefan's also got a surprise for us as well later on when he jumps on. I won't say any more. I'm sorry, dude. You missed it at the end of the previous stream. We did an announcement to say that, given the fact that everyone's going back, we're going to start doing it once every 2 weeks instead, just to give everyone a little bit of chance to try and return to normal. But yeah, us horrible, terrible people that have to live normal lives and have jobs and that sort of stuff, inconveniencing our regular fans. It's terrible. I'm sorry, dude. Oh God, 3D. That's terrible. Okay, so we're not doing what's in Stefan's cupboard. But he does have a surprise for us. Well, I'm glad what you've had so far you've enjoyed. Everyone's really enjoyed this. And I've had my first person come back now and tell me that V3 is definitely the best so far. So, yeah, it seems to be each time I make a new batch is getting a little bit better, which is nice to hear. There he is, sort of.
I'm not sure what.
Tom. Uh-oh. Hi, Diana. How you doing?
I don't know what's happening. My laptop's being funny now. Can you hear me?
Oh, dear. I can, yes, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a slight delay. Oh dear.
Second. Well,
Acid, that's awesome.
move the comment.
Oh, what size calciatum you getting tomorrow, Tony? Are they big ones or little ones?
Yeah. Oh. I think it sorted itself.
No, no, it hasn't. I have to switch onto the phone again, Tom.
Have to.
Ah, right, okay. They're not too bad when they're little. They're a bit bolty. I'll be honest, S. calciatum is one of the few species that does make me feel slightly nervous when I'm rehoming.
Well, I still don't have one in the collection yet.
I have one. I need more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good question, Tyler. Do we get to see a video of that rehouse, Sidex? It's quieting down here, actually, Tanya. We had it really, really bad yesterday. Ooh. Oh, that sucks. The enclosure behind me, I've made absolutely no progress on whatsoever. Work has been absolutely mental since I went back, and my boss has been on leave. So I've been putting in some serious hours, and I've literally not had any time to get any further with that at all, I'm afraid. It's since the last stream, it's had another sealing coat on it, but that's it. So, Stefan, I think it's time that you come on and join us, buddy. You've got a little surprise for everyone tonight, haven't you? I won't spoil it for you. I'll let you explain it to everyone. I'll just send you the link now. Although Tom's the one that's going to have to accept you on when he gets back. It's funny you say that actually about the moss. So I recently got a new bag of sphagnum moss, and normally I buy the dry stuff and rehydrate it. This time I bought a bag of the wet stuff, and the things that I've put that with we've actually found we've got a lot more of those horrible little phorid flies as well. So yeah, I'm wondering if it's not sourced in the same places where you've got yours from. Oh, excellent. Cheers, Lee. I appreciate you looking into that for me, dude. Yeah, I got a little bit concerned about crickets a little while ago with one of the places I used to buy from, Tanya. I'm the same. I try and feed mostly from my Dubai colony, my Dubia colony. Although I'm starting to thin that down a little bit now, and they don't seem to be breeding quite so quick. I need to find another source of roaches so I can add some new genetics into the colony. That's the bad thing as well, Ian. When you have an outbreak of any kind of pest in an invert room, it's really, really difficult to do anything about it. Apart from just stick up some fly paper and hope for the best. You can't use anything to assist in getting shot of them or anything like that. No, what's happening? Tom. Uh-oh. Yeah, I bet. I think Tom's struggling. I've just had a message of him. It's just a screen, blank screen with the wheel of death turning round on it. Can you guys still see me okay? Cool. I think, yeah, it's just Yeah, I think Tom's internet's just like struggling to let him back on. He's trying. If it carries on, we might have to restart the stream. Apologies for the inconvenience. Cheers, buddy. Okay. So Tom is just currently moving rooms so he can get closer to the box to see if that helps his Wi-Fi signal. So fingers crossed, he'll be back with us very shortly, and then he can add Stefan on. So yeah. I'll catch up with the comments. And lots of rolls of fly paste. So yeah, when we were at the old place, not so much now because it's not too bad at the minute, but the place we were living at before, when we had the animal room upstairs, that place looked like it had flypaper Christmas decorations with the amount of it that we had to keep hanging up for the outbreaks of all that sort of stuff. Yeah, well, my internet was quite bad, Tanya. It last like a few little bits, and where I'm sat at the moment is right next to the router. For some reason, the closer you are to the router, the worse your signal is when you're on the Wi-Fi. That's why I had to hardline it and get an Ethernet cable that went all the way to the laptop. Next species that I'm after. I don't know. That's a tough one because I've got a wish list as long as my arm. I suppose I need to get hold of a female Therophosa sturmii because that will complete my collection of that genus. I'll have all three species within that genus then. There's a few more pokies that I want. But I really want to find an Orphanachus species Philippinus, the Orphanachus Philippinus, Philippine orange. Really, really want to get one of them. That's definitely very, very close to the top of my list. Chilobrachys fimbriatus is on the list as well. And I'm after a few new species of big New World bird eaters. So there's a couple of Pamphos I'm after and some Xenetsis. Oh. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, I think that's Tom's issue. To be fair, most of the time he's obviously got the kids that are on the internet at the same time, and it steals all his bandwidth. Unfortunately, Acid, it doesn't matter how much overtime I work, I get paid the exact same no matter what, which is kind of sucky in some ways, but kind of okay in others because some days I barely lift a finger to do anything and get paid quite well for it. Or what are you thinking of buying for an incubator, Sidex? Again, Acid, unfortunately, the type of job that I do means that when I'm told to work overtime, I can't very well turn around and say no either. Okay, that's not a bad bit of kit. They're not the most accurate incubators in the world, from what I've heard, though. Oh, that's a controversial statement, Acid. Yeah, Lee, I made mine. I built my own incubator, but I needed it for sort of. So I needed an incubator when I was sort of a little bit deeper into breeding the Royal Pythons. So I needed something that could house sort of 10 to 12 clutches of eggs. So had to sort of improvise. So I built one out of an old double sliding door under counter bar fridge. That was a lot cheaper to build that. I got the bar fridge for free from an old pub that was closing down. Stripped all the guts out of it, lined it all, and then used some big high powered heat mats, and that's absolutely spot on with a decent quality pulse proportional thermostat, and it will hold literally to 0.1 of a degree. Ooh. Some of the best, most accurate, and most foolproof incubator builds I've seen. If you have a look on YouTube and look at some of the Polybox incubators, really, really simple, really, really straightforward, and with a decent thermostat, you can pretty much guarantee you won't have like temperature spikes and stuff like that. I know, Diana, it's just ended up being just me again. Not even the most popular one of the group. Yeah, I would definitely recommend having a look into some DIY incubator builds. Um, Thanks, Lee. Oh. How soon do you need the incubator, Sidex? That's not a bad shout, actually, Ian. On a serious note, Sidex, I've got everything here in terms of spare kit and equipment that's required to build a decent working polybox incubator. If you need it, rather than buying something that you're not sure about, I'll knock it up for you and I'll send it on if you want. Cover the postage, we'll call it done. Sorted. It's all good. I've got tons and tons and tons of spare kit and equipment, and I'm a hoarder for poly boxes. Every time we get our frozen food deliveries, they all turn up in poly boxes, and they're one of those things that I don't like just throwing in the bin. So I've got loads and loads of stuff out there. It's all spare equipment that's sat around not doing much. Heat mats, pulse proportional thermostats, all that sort of stuff. I'll set it all up. I'll get it all set up for you. I'll draw you a little diagram of how it works and stuff. And then I'll pop it in the post to you, buddy. I'll let you know what it's going to work out postage. But yeah, and that should do you. The only downside to a polybox incubator is that you can't actually see into it. But you can sort of fix that by siliconing a little piece of Perspex. So if you cut a little square out of the lid, if you cut a little square out of the lid, you can silicon a chunk of Perspex on the inside of it. It doesn't affect the retention of heat and stuff, and you'll be able to see in as well with a little torch to see what's going on in there. That was the first style of incubator I ever built. Hey, Tom's back. Hey, dude, I thought you'd proper left me in the lurch then, mate.
Right, hold on. Right, it can't get
any closer. Yeah, no drama, Sidex. I'll get that banged together for you, mate, and then I'll box it up and send it through. I'll do a little video because obviously I'll have to take it all apart, chuck it inside the box to post it to you. So I'll do a little video of how to put it all back together and the best way to maintain it and stuff. I've got all the egg crate that goes inside it and stuff as well. So I'll do that. I'll bang it in a post to you. Depending on how this week goes, I'll try and get it smashed one evening and get it in the post either for the weekend or just after. And then you should have it ready to go. Give you an opportunity to get it up and running, test your temperatures, make sure it stays stable.
right. Well, hopefully the internet connection's better. I mean, I can't get any closer to the box than what I am.
Yeah.
And the laptop doesn't actually have an Ethernet cable port to it. So.
Oh, that's odd.
So yeah, I can't even plug a cable in.
Huh. No, you're very welcome, buddy. I just hope it helps you out. Tyler, if you want me to talk you through the process of setting it up and stuff, give me a shout, and I'll go through it with you. So Stefan's going to request to join shortly.
Yeah, not a problem.
He's got a little bit of entertainment planned for us.
No, I think the neighbour's Wi-Fi would be better than ours, so I might have to.
I'm up for that, Side X.
But no, so instead now you've got the Death Fame Beatles enclosure behind me.
Yeah.
We've got 176.4 download and 19.6 upload.
Yeah, agreed, Lee. That sounds like a plan. I'm up for that.
It'll be quicker.
As I say, we have Desert Harry and 6 blue Death Fame Beatles in the enclosure
Nice.
behind me.
Very nice.
I can see one roaming around at the minute. I still never see the Scorpion at all, though.
Hey, Ebbs.
I mean,
Yeah,
I've
look forward to it, Side X.
I've heard that they can live to about 15-ish years, but I'm not 100% sure.
I'll be honest. I don't actually know a huge amount about them. To be fair.
No, I know they're easy to care for and everything else, but I'm not 100% sure on lifespan for them.
Yeah. It's one of the things I never really got very deep into was bugs and beetles. So I've only really just started that with the assassin bugs that I've got. Was really my my first step into any kind of shelled invert, I suppose. How many rolls have I got? 20, 25, something like that.
No, we got them because they're blue and Angel likes blue, so.
I'm glad she's on the mend.
Yeah, Sidex. I mean, no one likes the price of Death Fame Beatles. That's generally what puts a lot of people off, I suppose. But yeah, these are definitely the ones that I want or that I'm looking for.
Yeah, the only ones I end up with are accidentally, and that's when the Mario worms turn into those little Darkling beetles.
Good cleanup crew, I suppose.
Yeah. Problem is, I won't want to put them in with anything alive.
No. And there was a question for you here, Wayne.
Oh, I did answer that. Lee's replied. How many have you got now, Lee?
Anyway, you were doing some fruit beetle grubs, weren't you? They're sort of
Oh yeah,
shelled.
yeah. I didn't really count them. Yeah, they just keep they appearing out of nowhere. They've obviously bred, laid eggs. The grubs have hatched and then pupated again, because there are more fruit beetles I've had out of that little colony than the grubs that I put in there to start with. So, yeah, they seem to be doing their own little thing. They're pretty cool. Mostly they're in with the stick insects. Um,
And well, really, the only reptiles that we have are the geckos now, and obviously a few frogs. But obviously, they don't come under reptiles; they're amphibians. And we have someone disappearing.
2 seconds.
oh, nice. What's your favourite one of your royals, Lee?
I forgot a spoon. How you doing?
Hey, dude.
You good?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good.
Yeah.
You looking forward to this, Stefan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. All right.
Go on. Tell everyone what you're doing.
Well, you've got a. It's yours.
Would this
You
happen to
got
be the paste?
Yeah. So, as most of you know, I make my own chili sauce. And what I do after I've made all the blend of chilies and it's just the pure chili paste is leave it off to one side to ferment, which allows it to, it's basically like a natural way of preserving it. Helps all the flavors release and all that sort of stuff as well. And actually, the longer you leave it to ferment, the more heat it brings out as well. So Stefan really wanted to try the pure chili paste on its own before it gets turned into the actual chili sauce. So what Stefan's got there is a little sample bottle of that pure chili paste, which is basically pure Carolina Reapers with a few other blended chilies in it as well. Some onion, garlic, and ginger. It's got no other flavorings or anything else. Yes, Acid, I am. I make and sell my very own Stone Circle Tarantulas branded hot sauce, Carolina Reaper sweet chili sauce. Bit of shameless advertising there. So yeah, so Stefan's really interested in trying this, and he's decided he's going to do it tonight with us.
I like the way that he was like inspecting it there with a light. As if
I was trying to get a decent colour on it because it's more red than the sauce, but it's shit lighting.
that, or he was just trying to shine a UV light through it to see which one would burn more.
I have through the packet seen that there's still seeds in there.
Yes. Well, that's not, obviously the other sauce has been blended down completely smooth and strained. That literally is the pure product that the sauce is made from. They call it a chili mash, which is the stuff that's left over after when you're producing the sauce.
We'll do a bit this time.
So yeah, obviously the sauce that you've had is like hugely diluted compared to that after it's had the additional ingredients and stuff put in it, the vinegar to stabilize it and that sort of stuff. So we're going to go for, this is V3, so version 3 of my hot sauce. It is.
It's nice though, and I find it hotter. Oh.
I can't chuck a link in here, mate, but Acid, if you find me on Instagram and give me a shout, I'll square you away, buddy.
No, that's hot on it. But
Is that good?
yeah.
How does that compare to your Double Dare hot sauce?
Bloody hiccup.
I thought it was just bouncing on one of them like exercise balls then.
Have we lost the power of speech, Stefan?
Yeah, man.
Dude, you have got to get Scott on here to have some of this as well.
What, that?
Yeah.
Or V3 as well.
Or just even the V3.
We have been talking, and he wants some of it, so.
Cool.
But yeah,
So, I mean-
compared to Double Dare, Double Dare's gone. That's, oh,
So what was that? Was that the V3 you just took a massive spoonful of?
yeah.
You're really not looking forward to this pace now, are you, buddy?
All right, I'm warmed up.
Mate, you are an absolute legend.
Is this why he's sat in a bit of a gloomy room so that we don't see a teardrop falling from his eye as he's slowly
No,
like...
Tumble dryer's on. Living loud.
Ah, speaking of devil. Starting to wonder where you've been hiding all evening, Scott.
I just sent him a message. Get on that, mate.
Scott, you need to get round Stefan's now.
See, I know I think V3, I think I'm right in saying is a bit hotter than V2, isn't it? So I made the mistake when I made V2 of accidentally tasting the pure paste on its own. And that was only licking the back of a spoon. And it was pure fluke, done by accident. After I'd given it a stir. You know, when you stir something, you don't think about what you're doing, and then you take the spoon out, and then, yeah. And I was not in a happy place after that. So I think this paste is going to be hotter than that lot that I did then, because I think V3 is a bit hotter than V2, isn't it?
Even though I've had a little bottle of V2 sitting for, like, since I got it, I put it in a little bottle,
Yeah,
put it away, and that it's definitely gotten hotter over time.
it does. Yeah.
But V3 overall is hotter. So
Yeah.
So, little tip that anyone wants Wayne's hot sauce, just leave it a few weeks after you get it.
If you want it to get hotter, yeah. I mean, it's all naturally produced. There's nothing artificial in it whatsoever, and it will last because obviously it's because of the fermentation process. It's a natural way of storing it. If you keep it in a fridge, it will last 6 months plus. So just like your average store-bought bottle of sauce, you can keep it out of the fridge and it will last out of the fridge for a while as well. But it's better kept in the fridge. Not that anyone's bought a bottle of sauce off me yet that's lasted more than 2 weeks. So it becomes a little bit of an addiction, doesn't it, dude?
Definitely.
You can get some directly from me, Tony. So if you've got me on Instagram or find me on Facebook, mate, give me a shout and we'll square something away. It's not marketed to the general public yet. So it's being sold word of mouth from people that have had some off me before. I can't really produce enough of it at the moment out of my standard little kitchen to warrant going commercial with it just yet.
I definitely want to try the extra hot.
Yeah.
How much hotter would you say that is?
I don't know because I haven't actually tasted the extra hot. So the extra hot is basically V3 with an additional 10 Carolina Reaper chili pods blended into it. Okay.
He feels he's prepared now. Have you seen that? Look, he's shaking the bottle. He knows what he's up against.
Oh.
So just a disclaimer before we go any further, it was not produced for this purpose. Anything you do with the sauce that you get from me is done at your own risk. I have absolutely no culpability.
It's all stuff at the top. This blanket's down in the wash.
Wow.
I think at the start of these streams now, we're just going to have to put a disclaimer, aren't we?
Oh, why is it not coming out?
Because it's really thick. Once it starts,
the bottle over the table, and just all of a sudden now he's got to like.
How much you got on that spoon?
More than what I want.
Oh.
Do you want to give me an afterburn? Or are you going to let me go for the milk straight away?
Do you know what? Like I said, it's see how long you can handle it for. Don't do it until it's unpleasant.
Okay.
Go for the milk when you need it, and don't touch your eyes afterwards.
Says Wayne with experience.
You figure this stuff out when you're making chili sauce. Everyone's basically said, go on then, dude.
5 minutes. What are we on? Here we go. That's evil.
He's even having a chew it.
That is evil.
You can see physical pain there.
Thanks for stopping by, Diane.
Ugh.
Right. I think you need to get some of that milk down you, mate, before it starts eating holes in your stomach.
It's got your nose on it, oh, fuck. Well, we're done. A minute. We'll go for at least 2.
Oh. Good night, Diana.
It's like the face of death.
So Acid's just said there, like, that's mad, just none of the flavouring, just all the mixed lots of chilies. There is actually flavour in there, so you do have the garlic and ginger in there. However, I don't imagine. Say again?
Garlic in there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't imagine it's going to taste particularly nice. Like I said, it's not a finished product, but
37.
it's still going to taste better than the bomb, I bet. Wow.
Oh.
So, in terms of your crazy spice challenges so far, Stefan, where does that sit?
That's the worst one.
Oh.
That stuff that James sent over, that wasn't even as bad. And that was bad.
Yeah, and that's artificial as well. So that was artificially produced, like pure, like capsaicin oil. So it's the extract from the chilies. That what you just had there is all natural meat. It's pure Carolina Reaper chili paste, basically concentrated. It keeps going, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
If you haven't already, come on.
Oh. So how you doing now, dude?
Getting there.
Scott says he'd down the entire bottle if you guarantee a 2 stone weight loss after a week. I reckon downing the entire bottle might actually guarantee that.
And he says he wants you to sign a disclaimer for that as well, because he's not guaranteeing.
How big was the bottle?
So they are. What are they? I think they're 60 mil.
That's 0.2.
Yeah, so they're. Jaden, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, I think it's like 100 ml bottle, something like that. They're only small bottles. They're not massive. And obviously the other ones are 200 ml bottles. So. But yeah. So there you have it.
Who wants it next?
Looks like he needs to cool himself down after that by, doing some more V3.
Oh, the V3 is going to be nothing compared to that.
He says that's just like a yogurt. That's fine.
Oh. Jaden, you've just arrived like 30 seconds too late to see the worst effect. There you go, Stefan. Jaden missed it. You've got to do it again. Oh. I think I've killed Stefan. Oh no. Oh. Yay.
And I've got underneath.
Good lad.
Of course. Actually, you're right. Everyone's been laughing at me my whole life, so why not?
No, they're not laughing at you, Stefan. Remember, they're laughing with you.
Come on. How many people we got in chat? I can't see it.
It says 11. Yeah.
All right, 11. We'll do it again. I'm feeling it. I don't know why. All right, then.
Yeah. Hopefully, it's not quite so bad second time round.
You know, it's fine. Look, you know.
Yeah, that's it. Live review. Is that the V3 or is that the paste?
That's the pace.
Oh, that's like twice as. Ooh.
It's just Wayne's face. Then it's just.
I made it. I know how bad it is.
We let it rest that time. Shit.
Oh.
No acid. Stefan. Well, are you dying enough to show off your jumper there? Can you just show acid again? That is a Stone Circle Tarantula brand. Oh, the one on the chair.
The what? The one on the chair?
On your chair behind you there.
It's my daughter's Paw Patrol blanket.
Well, kind of close. Acid did say Digimon. You know,
So after the live review, if anybody wants any Stone Circle branded sweet chili sauce, give me a shout on Instagram. The actual sauce is not as bad as that. What Stefan's just done is the pure paste that the sauce is made from. So basically just pure pureed Carolina Reaper chilies. I hope you bought extra milk, Stefan.
Yeah, I made sure.
So the day that I made the unfortunate mishap of licking the spoon when I was making the stuff up, I finished the 2 pints of milk that were left in the fridge, and Sarah had to leave me in an absolute shit state in the kitchen to go to the garage and get more milk because I was in a world of hurt.
That's what, 2 pints done already. There's two 4-pinters in the fridge. So.
Did you not try any Ebs? Just sniffed it and went, nah, not happening. Stefan, hats off to you, dude. That was insane.
Brave man.
Fair enough. If you don't do spicy food, you should probably stay away from that sauce.
Even just try not to smell it too much. It could do some nose damage.
Wow. You looking forward to getting your bottle now, Tom?
It looks good. You know, maybe on the right things, not just on a spoon, I suppose.
What do you reckon's worse, that or the bomb?
Sorry?
What do you reckon's worse, this or the bomb? Like for heat.
So that's probably a bit hotter than the first lot that I tried, and that lot that I tried was way hotter than the bomb. So I reckon taste-wise, that probably tastes better. But I reckon that's easily 3 or 4 times hotter than the bomb.
Yeah, you're gonna suffer this film.
Or more.
Make you tingle.
I'm selling them at the moment, Jaden, for £3 a bottle or 2 for a £5 plus postage. But as you're a first-time customer, I'll send you a free sample first if you want. I've got some sample bottles made up if you want to have a bash before you commit. And that you just cover postage and I'll send it for you.
Two seconds.
So, what's your official verdict, Stefan?
Don't do it. It's still coming up. Oh, that's the worst thing I've ever had.
How does it taste?
Taste-wise, it's really nice. Very heavy on the garlic.
Yeah.
That's all I could really taste.
Yeah, like I said, that's the concentrated stuff that the main sauce is made from. So by the time it's gone through the rest of its production process, obviously that flavour is diluted a little bit. So it's not quite as strong on the garlic and ginger, but that was never designed to be utilised in that fashion. So it's up to you now, dude. You can keep that for challenges and stuff like that, or you can use that as a flavouring now for when you're doing cooking and stuff, because that's literally what it is. I mean, there's strength for that.
Challenge once more, at least once more. I want to do it as a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, a teaspoon of that stuff, if you were to mix it into like a spaghetti bolognese, would turn it into a pretty decent chili.
Just a shame I'm the only one that likes the spice in the house. Honestly, can't stand it.
And it's no fun just cooking for yourself, is it? So yeah, if anybody wants some, give me a shout. Okay, buddy. Jaden, thanks for joining us, mate. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening, mate.
So, did anyone else have any new additions? Or have you slowed down, Wayne?
I have slowed down a little bit at the moment. That's not because I don't want any new additions. It's just I've been so busy. I've not had a chance to like look online or anything, which means impulse buy-ins drop down to a minimum.
I've had no additions yet, but I plan on soon. Obviously, I've got the disc today. I'm going to sort that out first, and then go from there.
Oh, nice.
Well, I think I saw a post, Acid, that Dave's Avics are ready. If you're interested.
Oh.
Come straight from Ebbs, Jaden.
Bear with me a second, guys. I seem to have had an influx of messages on Instagram.
I wonder why. Can you reveal what other 4 scorpions they are then, Scott? Or are you just leaving us with the one?
My tongue won't stop tingling.
That would probably be Wayne with the noisy cricket.
Yes, it's me. It's always me.
Yeah, generally it's Wayne, but
Oh,
You still struggling there, mate?
No, you missed it.
rewind it.
Oh, you just done it again, ain't you?
Only V3 though.
Okay. I am genuinely getting concerned about your stomach lining. So I'm just scrolling through and seeing what comments I've missed. Oh.
I'm surprised you haven't got the Doritos out yet for it.
V2 was alright to dip, but this, I prefer it more with proper food.
So we've now turned into a bidding war for Francis.
Who's winning?
Well, so far it's only Scott and Jaden, but you know.
Okay.
And I'm sure you could have him just for one Balf. You know, you wouldn't have to spend all this sort of, you know, just one adult Balf, one adult female Balf.
That's a pretty low starting bid there, Ebbs.
Alright, my tablet is almost dead, so I'm going to have to shoot off now.
Okay, buddy. Well, thanks for coming on. You're always welcome. You know that.
I'm going down to my
And you are an absolute legend. That was nails. Let me know how you're feeling tomorrow.
I will do. Definitely.
Or even just in the next couple of hours.
Yeah. Alright, but there we go. Done.
Cheers, dude.
Get it.
Catch you soon.
See you soon.
Cheers, dude. See you later. Bye-bye. Just a quick one for the guys in the chat. Please don't forget to like the stream. give us a share. And as always, thanks for joining us. It's been a really good laugh tonight.
Always means a lot to us to get everyone in.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody want to jump on for a bit?
Right, look, Jaden leaves with his final offer, eh? 5,103 bounce.
I love that, guys. Save your money. It only costs Kieran a sock. Legend.
And surely, since the payment for Francis is going to Ebbs, shouldn't it be like 3 Avics or 3 Carabiner Verses?
Yeah, Tanya's random bid in there. Look at that, a donkey.
Not just half a one, a full one.
Yeah. Sold to Tanya for a donkey. Oh. Scott's just sent a picture of his little burrowing scorpion. That's a really smart looking little scorpion, actually, Scott. Oh. Oh.
That is a little tiny itty thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, this is no good for bidding when he's finalised that he's going with Jaden. Like, there's just no humble sport in this.
Oh. I'm starting to wonder, when it comes to like auctioning off people, when it's property, it's fine, but when it's people, what category does that come under? What would it come under? Would it come under, when you're buying and selling people? Would it be slavery, prostitution?
Miscellaneous. This covers all aspects then. Fine. Well, I'm not quite sure how it does, Francis, but if Ebb says that it does, then unfortunately A donkey outbeats it.
I guess it depends on who's doing the auctioning. To somebody, a donkey might be worth more than 5,103 Balfour, right? Actually, I've got a friend who's got 3 emus. She owns her own little farm. She's got 3 emus running around on that, and some alpacas. Selling your soul for Monocentropus balfouri.
Well, Acid's just sent me a thing on donkeys. I don't know if you can quite. How much does a donkey cost? There you go. Around $300 a day for a donkey, and up to 2,000 to 3,000, and even higher.
Wow.
So
That's
there you go.
mental.
Anything up to £3,000 a day for a donkey. I think a donkey wins. So I've just seen Sidex's comment there. No,
I'd say that was a questionable practice.
now, is there any way in doing this without them dropping and hurting themselves?
Scott, what are you on?
I'm guessing you're on about that one.
Yeah.
So is this the next build? You know, with the front.
Becoming one with the Balfour.
He's now made like this 7-foot long enclosure, and he's just laid there in the middle. I am the centerpiece. Come one.
That last comment from Acid Splash. It's getting worse. Oh.
It's not that. I just know that you'd need about 1,000 mouths in there with you. You know, that's all I'm saying. It's nothing about the size of you.
$4'8". I'm pretty sure that's only like an inch over the legal limit to be a dwarf. Oh. Oh, how tall are you, Ebbs?
Is it just SMS or the SPS? Sorry, small person syndrome.
Oh, that's not that short. Oh, it's been a very entertaining chat feed tonight, isn't it?
Poor Ed.
Oh, please tell me she smacked you around the back of the head after that.
Yeah, she used the ruler that he got out.
Oh. Oh. Oh, you're very welcome, Jaden. It's been a pleasure having you on, mate. How much taller than you is Francis? Oh. You know what, Scott? Exactly the same as what Ashley just said there, mate. You know, don't ever worry about, you know, watching what you got to say and stuff on here. Told you before. I know sometimes you have a habit of sometimes taking things to heart, but you know, we always have a good laugh. None of us have ever been offended by anything you've said. You're a good lad. You're a good laugh. You know, and if you are worried, just give one of us a message and ask. You know. Yes. He will never ever live that down.
We now have a few things, don't we, throughout the stream that just won't ever pass, should we say?
Yeah, definitely. Do you know what? But on that side of it, yeah, there are people out there that could have taken that incredibly offensively, but nobody did. Everyone saw it for exactly what it was. It was funny. It was genuinely fun, like an epic laugh about it. My brother wasn't offended. He saw the funny side, you know.
It was a humble mistake that ended up as quite a funny side of things.
And it is now a lads' night in legendary funny moment.
Yeah.
Yep. Every time you write when he's on there, innit, you read the message, read it again, read it again, read it again, send. See, and there you go, Scott. You know, Tyler said it there. See, Ebbs, that's the sort of thing that happens to me.
Addictive text is great in some ways, but others.
Yeah. Or those days when you know you're tired, your brain's not really switched on, and you say things before you've engaged your brain to mouth filter. I have days like that. You can't blame that on autocorrect.
You could try. Sorry, my CPU's not functioning properly. I'll have to come back to it later.
Yeah, sorry, I'm going to go away and reboot.
Just like a head hits the desk and falls asleep quickly.
See, the worst thing about it is obviously the job I'm doing at the moment, because it's kind of like it's like a social worker's job for military people. So I've got to be so careful with what I say and who I say it to, because a lot of the people that I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis, in some way, shape, or form, are in a vulnerable state, and having a bit of a twisted sense of humor, and sometimes not having that brain to mouth barrier when you sat there having like what should be a really serious emotive conversation with somebody, and the stuff that goes through your head is just like, you sit there sometimes and you're like, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. Yeah, no, I'm used to that, Scott. My sister's autistic. She's the same. There is literally no filter with her. She never thinks about what she says. She always says exactly what's on her mind. And if anybody around her gets offended, then, you know, sod them, basically. That's her philosophy. No worries, Lee. You take care, buddy. Thanks for popping in as always.
Yeah.
Give me a shout. We'll get some sauce out to you.
Yeah, acid. I've just got one big one. They have a koi carp on the back of my shoulder blade. And Angel's like all the way over that way. She says she's on charge. I'm not quite sure how she means by that. Plans on getting any more tattoos, Tom? I don't know. Never really planned. I never even really planned on getting that one. It was just a spur of the moment thing. A friend come round, said he could do it, so I said yeah. I got like this huge thing on my back.
I'd be a bit concerned if a friend turned up randomly one day with a tattoo kit and said, "Oh, by the way, while I'm here, I can give you a tattoo if you want."
He was a pretty good artist, and he was learning to be in a tattoo studio. So
Okay,
I gave him the benefit of the doubt.
cool. See, I made the mistake of getting a couple done when I was younger under the influence of alcohol that I've regretted ever since. I want more. I'm going to get some done. I just need, first of all, to find somebody that can do the designs for me, because what I want is going to be bespoke. It's not going to be something anyone else has got. I want it designed specifically for me. And secondly, I need to find somewhere that's going to do it to an incredibly high standard, but not for extortionate amounts of money. Good night, Tanya. Thanks for joining us.
Bye. Best of luck with the kids.
What is it you want me to share, Acid? the designs I want done. You on about like what it is that I want to actually get done? No night, Tanya. Oh, the bad tattoos. Okay. Yeah. Well, the first one's that one, not that one. That one, which I got done when I was 20, very drunk in Canada. I don't know what for. I thought it would be a really good idea to walk into a tattoo studio, scribble a design on a bit of paper and go, I want that. So on the plus side, it's my own design. On the bad side, it looks like crap. And it literally was a case of walking into a tattoo studio in Canada, scribbling something down on a bit of lined paper and going, do that. I did have a plan on sort of trying to do something with it and sort of see if I could extend it in the same sort of style and turn it into a full sleeve piece. But it's sort of very almost tribal in the way that it looks, and nobody likes tribal stuff anymore. It's a bit dated and it's not really what I want done. But because of the size of it and how blocky it is, it's going to be really difficult to cover up, which is why I say I need to find somebody that's really good to do it.
You get a lot of those sort of stories with tattoos, though, don't you? That
Yeah.
it's just like, oh yeah, you know, I had it done, and about 10 years on from it, it's sort of like,
It's going to need a little bit more than a nice neat score through to undo what I've done with that. Oh. So yeah, I don't really know, but my other arm's not got very much on it, so or pretty much nothing on this one, apart from some crappy little Chinese symbol at the top of my arm that I got done when I was 16. That, as far as I know, could probably mean special fried rice. Again, drunk, walked into a place, wanted to get a tattoo, wanted something cheap. Said, like, what can you do? Like I said, I was 19, going back 20 years. Said, like, you know, let's have a, you know, what can you do for 45 quid? Alcohol has been the bane of my life when it comes to decisions like that. You know that. Don't ever make decisions like that. So yeah, but no, the plan is, because this is going to be it's a blank canvas. So I've got something special in mind for this. Like I said, I just need to find a decent artist and then somebody to actually do the tattoo, and that's going to be a full sleeve. So potentially two full day sit-ins, and then some touch-ups afterwards. Or at least that's the plan. Yeah, see, that sounds exactly like something I would do. Oh. Although that sounds more like the tattooist was drunk and not you. It really sucks as well because, like, my missus has got some absolutely beautiful tattoos. She's got some really nice, like, from like armpit to halfway down her thigh on one side, and then a big piece on her hip on the other side. And she's got a really nice phoenix, and then she's got a really nice, like, Japanese style dragon. And then she's got some other bits and pieces done. She's got some really good quality tattoos, but she's put some thought into it and waited until a little bit later in life to get them done. Whereas me, I was just a stupid kid that thought it'd be fun to go and spend next to nothing on a cheap tattooist. Wow. You're lucky you only walked out with a tattoo. Oh. So when you go in and there's no tattooist chair, there's just a rack for you to get strapped into to be tattooed.
You sure his name wasn't Phoenix?
Sidex is off. Good night, Sidex. Thanks for coming in, buddy. It's been a really good laugh tonight, mate.
Look after yourself.
We'll have a chat. We'll have a chat offline about getting you that incubator. No worries, Steve. Take care, buddy. Thanks for popping in. I'll give you a shout tomorrow when I've posted off your source.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, it won't be long before I was thinking about calling it anyway.
It's pushing 11 o'clock now, isn't it? You've got work in the morning, I'm pretty sure.
As always.
I've got work as well, and I'm still playing catch up from a really, really busy week last week. So I've got to go in and hit the ground running. In fact, at the moment, I'm having to bring my work computer home with me and do a little bit in the afternoons and evenings. So.
And most time getting eaten up.
Yeah, but you know what? Tonight's been good to get back on here and just have a break from it and think about something different for a change. Like, work's literally taking up pretty much all of my effort and time lately, so it's nice to get away from work and do something a bit different. Got to reset your brain somehow, haven't you? If you stay in work mode permanently, it trashes your life. Cool. Well, as everyone's starting to think about heading off to bed, then should we do the same, Tom?
Yeah, sounds good this end. I think there's only 2 people left watching at the minute, so.
Cool. Well, in that case, whoever it is that's left in the chat, thank you very much for joining us. It's an absolute pleasure. We'll see you again in 2 weeks' time on my channel next, isn't it?
It will be your channel next, yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you all for staying to the bitter end.
Yeah. And we'll see you again in a couple of weeks.
We will,
Tom,
indeed.
Pleasure as always.
Indeed. Same to you.
We'll see you all again soon. Good night, everyone.
See you soon. Good night.